from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Good evening. This is the National News Telecast. I'm Moon Hettiarachi.
And I'm Sharma Srinas. First is a look at today's headlines.
"13 passengers were killed in 2 road accidents occurred within 12 hours. Driver of the Manampitiya bus accident was remanded. 882,000 persons have appealed for Aswasuma benefits. SLTB long-distance timetable is available online from today. A passenger ferry service between India and Sri Lanka is underway. 3,350 newcomers will enter into nursing training. American policy on Russia-Ukraine war is controversial.
And we start off with local news. 13 persons have died in road accidents occurred in Polonnaruwa, Abanpola and Thalawakele areas.
About 95 passengers have been injured in these bus accidents occurred last evening and early this morning. Police say that 15 persons have died from the road accidents. Polonnaruwa bus accidents occurred at Manampitiya area in 7:45 p.m. yesterday. 11 people died in this accident. A private bus carrying passengers from Kadruela area to Kalmune was knocked down on the railings of the Kotavele bridge and fallen into a tributary Mahavali river. Nearly 55 passengers were inside the bus at the time of the accident. One of the deceased was a woman. 40 injured passengers have been admitted to Manampitiya and Polonnaruwa hospitals. Navy divers have been deployed for the river to check whether more passengers were drowned. A passenger who was saved unhurt said the bus came at a high speed. Driver of the bus was a resident at Kantankudi and had been arrested and produced before courts. Later, he was remanded until the 24th of this month. State Minister Shripala Kamalath said that many such accidents had occurred near this base. As roads have been developed at present, many vehicles run at a high speed. However, some culverts and bridges are narrow as they have not been renovated yet. Therefore, the motorists should take care of the driving in these newly carpeted roads. Chairman of the National Transport Commission, Shashi Velgamas, said that the bus has no permission from the Commission. This bus had run past overtaking another bus that has proper permits. It is reported that such incidents occur frequently. Police media spokesman attending at law, Nihal Thalduwa, has said that the reported careless driving is the main cause of the accident. Therefore, the driver has been arrested and kept under the custody of the Polonnaruwa Police Headquarters. He will be produced before courts tomorrow. It has been revealed that the driver had earlier met with an accident as well. The traffic branch of the Polonnaruwa Police Headquarters is conducting further investigations.
මත්පැන් පානය කළා තිබුණු බවක් නිරීක්ෂණය වන්නේ නැහැ. ඒ වගේම ඔහු යම්කිසි ආකාරයක විෂමද්‍රව්‍ය පානය කළා තියෙනවද කියලා පරීක්ෂා කිරීම සඳහා අවශ්‍ය පරීක්ෂණ සඳහා ඔහු යොමු කළා තියෙනවා. එහි ප්‍රතිඵල මෙතෙක් ලැබිලා නැහැ. මේ සම්බන්ධව විමර්ශන කටයුතු පොළොන්නරුව මුලස්ථාන පොලිසිය රථවාහනාංශයෙන් තමයි සිදු කරන්නේ. ඒ වගේම මනම්පිටිය පොලිස් ස්ථානයේ අවශ්‍ය සහාය ලබා දෙනවා.
Another bus accident was reported from Abanpola area early this morning. A bus carrying pilgrims which was running towards Anuradhapura knocked down a parked container vehicle. 2 persons died in the accident and 29 others were injured. They have been admitted to Abanpola and Galgamu hospitals. Another private bus transporting a group of female state workers fell into a precipice of about 30 feet deep at Pundalaoya area. 26 passengers were injured and admitted to Kotmale Hospital. Later, several women who were in critical condition were sent to Nawalpiti Hospital. Police said a technical failure of the bus caused the accident.
Chairman of the Aswasma Welfare Benefits Board, B. Vijayaratna, says that submitting objections and appeals for the Aswasma program will end today. After a thorough investigation of these objections and appeals, the relevant parties will be provided with benefits without delay. Nearly 3.7 million applications have been sent for this program. Out of the amount, about 2 million applications were selected to the benefits. The board has allocated time for the objections and appeals of the public until today. Over 882,000 appeals and 14,237 objections have been sent to the board so far. The Ministry of Finance says that benefits will be given under 4 categories, namely extremely poor, vulnerable groups and transit groups. A sum of 15,000 allowance will be paid for the families of extremely poor category. A family of poor category will have an allowance of 8,000 rupees. A family of vulnerable group is entitled to an allowance of 5,000 rupees. A family in transit group will be given an allowance of 2,500 rupees.
The government has focused attention to start a new nursing university in the country. Health Minister Dr. Kehelia Rupavahini says that an agreement has already been made in this regard. The minister revealed these facts joining a function today held to distribute appointment letters for nursing training students for the 2020 batch. The function was held at the Ministry of Health today. 3,315 students have qualified for nursing training based on the A-level results of 2018-2019. In line with the function, distribution of appointment letters was also held at 15 nursing training colleges throughout the island. Health Minister Dr. Kehelia Rupavahini said that the government is committed to enhance the education level of nurses. The students with nursing diploma will be able to sit for an exam that is very much important to enter into degree level. Sri Lankan professionals are accepted at any corner of the world. For example, Sri Lankan quantity surveyors are accepted in the entire Gulf region. Sri Lankan nursing profession and the health services are also accepted worldwide. Sri Lankan health professionals are going abroad. That has become a problem in this country as well. After nursing diploma, if the students complete a nursing degree, they will be have employment opportunities in any country of the world.
The Supreme Court today ordered the Attorney General to submit a report on the compensation scheme for the people affected by the fire of the Express Pearl vessel and its progress. This order was issued when the relevant petitions were summoned before a panel of Supreme Court judges today. The lawyer who appeared for the fishing community told the courts that the fishing families who have affected from this incident has not yet received compensations. Appearing for the Attorney General, Additional Solicitor General Nerin Pulle said the measures relating to the compensations are being taken at present. President of the Judge Panel, Murthu Fernando, pointed out that the compensation process should be carried out without delay. The President Judge also ordered the Additional Solicitor General to provide facilities for the fishing community in this regard. The Supreme Court also instructed the lawyers appearing for the affected fishermen, the relevant appeals for compensation should be forwarded to the relevant institutions, including Marine Environment Protection Authority. A report including the measures taken so far to pay compensation should be presented to the Supreme Court before the 15th of December this year. The relevant petitions is to be resummoned on the 5th and 6th of October. The petitioners are the Archbishop of Colombo, His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjith, Reverend Father Sarath Iddamalgoda, fishing community and the representatives of the Central for Environmental Justice. The petition filed by Senior DIG Ajit Rohana requesting an order to cancel his transfer was considered at the Supreme Court today. The petition was summoned before the panel of judges Priyantha Jayawardena and Arjuna Besekara. Senior DIG told the courts that the investigation conducted against him was partial. Therefore, he had requested the Supreme Court to issue an order to make his transfer null and void. The petition will be resummoned on the 17th of this month.
Timetables of the Sri Lanka Transport Board long-distance services buses have been digitalized from today in order to provide an efficient and confidential service to the passengers. A digitalized SLTB timetable has been uploaded to internet today at a function held in the Government Information Department under the patronage of Minister Dr. Bandula Guruvardena. The timetables are available at sltb.eseat.lk website. Information can also be obtained by dialing the hotline 1315. Chairman of the Sri Lanka Transport Board, Lalit Alvis, and a group of officials were present at this occasion. Chairman of the Sri Lanka Transport Board, Lalit Alvis, said that the board daily operates nearly 5,000 buses island-wide through 107 depots. There are about 700 buses for inner city to long-distance travel. Out of the amount, about 400 buses are operational, centering in Colombo main bus stand. Minister Dr. Bandula Gunaradana said that the passengers are now able to plan their journeys by obtaining information through the mobile phone. They also can book seats and get information on weather and many other matters, including long-distance services and their destinations.
Minister Susir Premachandra says that the results of the GC Advanced Level Examination last year will be released in the middle of next month. In addition, the Suraksha Students Insurance Scheme will also be recommenced from next year. The minister made these remarks at a press briefing held in the President's Media Centre today, titled "All in One Way for a Stabilised Country." Minister Susir Premachandra said that the Federation of University Teachers Association and the teacher trade unions did not attend to evaluate the answer sheet of the advanced level examination, and an issue was risen due to that. He added that the evaluation of the A-level exam questions have been completed and that matter is now resolved. He further said that the exam results could be released in the middle of the next month. Minister also said that the A-level exams for this year are scheduled to take place in December. According to the Ministry of Education, and the ministry has taken steps to hold all examinations in the prescribed year. He further said that the Suraksha Sisurakshana, the insurance scheme introduced for the school children, which was suspended due to the financial crisis and will resume in 2024. He also stressed that the 2023 GC Advanced Level Examination will be held before Christmas festival.
We'll be back with more new local news after a short break.
Prima Kutumi Fantamai.
Continue on with more local news. An army officer who had prevented a bus accident along the Kandy Mahayangane main road was felicitated today by Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena. Corporal of the Sri Lanka Army Infantry BRKL Karunaratne was felicitated today. He has managed to prevent a bus accident at Undurukadu area on 26th of May this year. The driver of the bus was ejected from the driving seat and the bus ran without the driver for about 50 meters. Corporal Karunaratne had jumped into the driving seat and had controlled the bus with much effort. Due to his timely act, lives of about 55 passengers have been saved. A meeting between Prime Minister and the Sabaragamuwa Provincial Governor Naveen Dissanayake was held at the Temple Trees today. They discussed the matters relating to rapid development of the Sabaragamuwa province.
Relevant permissions have been granted to prepare the basic program needed to commence a ferry service between India and Sri Lanka. The ferry service is to be operated by Nagapatnam in India to Kankasantare in Sri Lanka. The relevant letter granting permission for the Sri Lankan side was handed over to the ferry service operator by Minister of Ports and Civil Aviation Services Nimal Siripala de Silva. The ferry service will provide services to tourists of both countries and the business community and the pilgrims. A passenger terminal has been constructed at Kankasantare harbour premises at a cost of 450 million rupees for this purpose. State Minister of Ports and Civil Aviation Services Premalal Jayasekara said that this passenger ferry service will commence soon after the Indian government will give its approval. State Minister of Ports and Civil Aviation Services Premalal Jayasekara said that the President expects to enhance cooperation between Sri Lanka and India. Following this project, Jaffna can be developed as a commercial city and a huge development process will occur in the northern province. Both countries expect to set up the basic foundation for this endeavour within 6 months. In addition, a discussion will be held soon with the Indian government to obtain its agreement for this project. Then the ferry service will be operated without delay.
Several political parties have organized a propaganda meeting in several areas yesterday. The party leaders expressed their views on the current political situation in these meetings. For an electorate Balamandalaya meeting of the Sri Lanka Posijana Peramuna was held yesterday in the Horana Urban Council Hall. Former chairman of the Horana Pradeshia Sabha, Dilepa Veerakodi, has organised this meeting. Parliamentarian Rohitha Abegunwardena said that the governing party Protect the Presidency as a country is revitalising its economy at present. The Parliament will give its approval for the decisions taken by the President. Posijana Peramuna makes these commitments for the well-being of the people and the country. A presidential election is a must compulsory and will be held next year. Before that, the President can dissolve the Parliament and go for a general election. Wattal Electorate Conference of the National People's Power was held in Wattal town under the patronage of Leader of the National People's Power, Anurakumara Dissanayake, yesterday. Leader of the National People's Power, Anurakumara Dissanayake, said that the people in large numbers have gathered here to show their interest in appointing a new political movement to rule this country. In the political history so far, no country has postponed elections, citing the reason as a lack of funds. People need an election to chase away the rulers who had bankrupted the economy and ruined the country. United National Party Denia Electorate Balamandalaya meeting was held yesterday under the patronage of National Organizer of the United National Party, Sagala Ratnayake. It was held under the title of Let's Win 2048 United League. National Organizer of the United National Party, Sagala Ratnayake, said that the international community helps us by the Asian Development Bank and the World Bank and other such organizations provide technical guidance. The government has to do many activities. It has to bring over 100 new rules and regulations within this year. Certain new acts will influence many segments of the society. However, government is attempting to amend the acts and mutual consent of the international community.
Here's more local news in brief. Police Special Task Force has arrested a close ally of leading drug dealer Kimbula Ella Guna. The STF has also recovered a sum of 6.5 million rupees. The raid was conducted at Nayakanda area in Vattala by the officials of Gonahena STF camp. Kaluthara Police Divisional Anti-Corruption Unit has arrested 2 suspects hidden in a house with 3 swords and a stock of heroin. 2 suspects had planned to kill a person, a contract given by an organised criminal named Matugama Shan. The suspects are 25 and 19-year-old persons respectively. Anguruwa Police had taken into custody 2 motor vehicles with the same registration number. A suspect was taken into custody and he was accused of vehicle rackets in previous occasions as well. The Ministry of Agriculture has taken measures to distribute 70,000 goats among low-income families. A sum of 150 million rupees has been allocated for this program. Distribution of hybrid variety of goats was initiated at Ranni yesterday under the patronage of Minister Mahinda Amaravira. The aim of this program is to enhance the livelihood of low-income families within 5 years. In line with the program, renovation work of rural irrigational tanks in Vadigala area was also initiated. That's a look at local news. When we come back, we bring you stories from the US.
Prima Kutumi Fantamai.
And on foreign news tonight, US President Joe Biden has arrived in Windsor and has met King Charles for the first time since coronation.
US President Joe Biden has landed in the UK ahead of the NATO summit in Lithuania later this week, which comes after several allies questioned his call to send cluster bombs to the Ukraine. Earlier, US President Biden met UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak at Downing Street, where they spoke about the US giving Ukraine cluster bombs. During the meeting, Biden described US-UK relationship as rock solid. Sunak added the 2 countries were the firmest allies, and Biden and Sunak will meet again tomorrow at the NATO summit in Lithuania.
6 people, including 3 children, have been killed in a kindergarten stabbing in China's southeastern Guangdong province. Authorities say that they have arrested a 25-year-old man. The other victims are a teacher and 2 parents. And one person is also has been injured. Police have called this a case of intentional assault but not elaborated on a possible motive. The attack happened today just as parents were dropping their children off for summer classes. A store owner who works near the kindergarten told that the surrounding area has been sealed off. It was reported that at least 17 knife attacks in schools, colleges and universities have taken place since 2010, and 10 of those have happened between 2018 to 2023.
At least 15 people have died in 3 days in the northern India as heavy rains caused widespread flooding. In the Himalayan state of Himachal Pradesh, landslides and flash floods have damaged houses and paralyzed life. In similar situation prevailed in the neighbouring Uttarakhand, where water levels of the several rivers have crossed the danger mark. In Delhi, schools have been shut off as entire city was flooded over the weekend. The situation was particularly alarming in some pockets of the city, where residents were left stranded as water overflowed from clogged drains and submerged roads. Meanwhile, India's meteorological department has warned that many heavy rains are expected in the northern regions of the country. India regularly witnesses severe floods during the monsoon season, which runs between June and September, and many factors contribute to the flooding. However, experts say climate change caused global warming makes extreme rainfall more likely.
Russian President Vladimir Putin met the leader Yevgeny Prigozhin after the failed Wagner Group mutiny last month. Kremlin said that Prigozhin, who heads the Wagner group, was among the 35 Wagner commanders invited to the meeting in Moscow. It was said that the President Putin had given an assessment of the Ukraine war effort and the mutiny. Under a deal to end the mutiny, which saw Wagner troops seize a city and march on Moscow, charges against Prigozhin were dropped and he was offered a move to Belarus. He had reportedly accused the ministry of failing to supply his group with ammunition, and he has told Putin that Wagner unconditionally supported him. However, Wagner's chief's current whereabouts are unclear. Millions of people in the northeastern U.S. are under flood warnings, with intense thunderstorms expected to bring more dangerous conditions. At least one person died in New York State as floodwaters swept through the streets and left drivers stranded. The woman in her 30s drowned yesterday after she was swept away while trying to evacuate her Hudson Valley home. Authorities said that there were more missing people and declared a state of emergency for 2 countries. Thousands were left without power. As of Sunday evening, some 12,000 homes were thought to be without electricity in New York State. The conditions showed deep brown flood, water rolling through the streets at a quick pace, flooding homes and in some instances moving cars.
Now on to sports news. In cricketing news, the Ashes series is currently underway in England. England won the 3rd test in the Ashes against Australia by 3 wickets. Australia lead the 5-match series 2-1 at present.
The 3rd test match was played in Leeds cricket grounds in England. Australia scored 263 runs in their first innings and England scored 237 runs. Australia was 224 runs in the second innings. Chasing a victory target of 251, England passed the target for 7 wickets. Mark Wood was adjudicated as the man of the match.
Nails it for 4, and 2 of the lads that England brought in to deliver in the middle. Brilliant from the pair.
New Zealand women's cricket team won the second T20 match against Sri Lanka women's cricket team by 8 wickets. The match was played in the Pisara Oval cricket grounds in Colombo. Batting first, Sri Lanka scored 118 runs for the loss of 8 wickets in their allotted 20 overs. New Zealand won the match scoring 199 runs in 18.4 overs for the loss of only 2 wickets. Sri Lankan athletes left the island yesterday for Thailand for the Asian Athletic Championship tournament. The tournament will be held from the 12th to the 17th of this month. 13 men and women athletes will compete for Sri Lanka at this tournament. Oman emerging team arrived in the island today for an emerging Asian Championship cricket tournament. The tournament will commence from the 13th of this month with the participation of 8 teams. The Oman team will meet Afghanistan in the first match to be played at the CCC grounds in Colombo.
That's it for tonight's English News telecast. Thank you for joining us. Good night.